Hello guys, and welcome to JD Stone Gaming for part 2 of Birth by Sleep from the Kingdom Hearts series. Thank you so much for joining in. It's your boy JD Stone, and I want to first start out by saying Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Now with this, what I'm doing is I'm picking up where I left off in the last game. There's a lot kind of confusing to me, so it was kind of left on a weird note. But I figure out that I'm going into the first... I mean, world is the right word, but it's not at the same time. Like with the one that I really like, Recoded, the first one you do, I believe, is Alice in Wonderland. So you go into the clearing, and you find Alice, and then you have to go to... There's like different pathways, 4 or 6 of them around, and each one goes to a different spot. However, you have to go through a certain order in order to move on in the pathways. And in this one, I'm just doing the clearing here, and then I go into the actual castle where the big bad is for this level. Like I said before in the last game, I thought it was really interesting that they have you do these levels as each of the 3 characters. So you play through as one character, and that unlocks certain parts for you to do as the next character you choose. And it just goes on through all 3. What I'm doing right here is I am exploring the menu, trying to see what I can change, what I can't do, what things do, what they mean. So I can get used to it, so that later on in the game, as I get things and get skills and talents and stuff, then I can use the menu. One thing I thought was kind of interesting about this was that it starts out with your big 3 as far as Disney princesses go. Starts out with, as you'll see here, I really wish I could have kept the cutscene because it was so cool. So cool. For those of you who know a lot of Disney lore, it was Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. And you guys also know that the princess from Maleficent was Aurora, or Sleeping Beauty, as the movie is called. And here is, like I said in the other video, where I had that feeling of playing the Recoded, where it had the guys swarming around you all the time, and just a constant barrage of enemies, from floating in the air, shooting things at you, to on the ground attacking you. This is really starting to get back into that. So now as I get used to the controls, now I can start re-acclimating myself to the speed and the agility of which I had in Recoded as I went through Wonderland, and I don't even know where Hercules World is in that game. You're not in Hades, and you're not on Olympus, so you're somewhere else. But it was kind of an interesting game concept. And there's a lot to this one that I can't show you, unfortunately, because of the cutscenes. But they have so much story background in this. Like, Maleficent tries to get you to help her obtain 7 pure hearts. And the reason she's getting you to do this is because as your battle with Aqua showed in the first video, you have darkness inside you that somehow it unlocks in the battle. And that's really why you lost and did not become a Keyblade Master, is because you let that darkness out of you when you're supposed to hold it in and control it. So Maleficent plays on that darkness and uses your Keyblade to take Aurora's heart. And that's the first of 7 that she needs. haven't figured out what the other hearts are. I think Snow White is one of them. And I thought Cinderella was one of them. But there isn't really a way for Cinderella to have her heart taken. So I'm not sure. However, if 3 of the Disney princesses were to have their hearts be the 7, it would definitely be Aurora, Cinderella, and Snow White. This is a lot of learning curve. And I actually should start using the lock-on. Which I do later on, as you'll see in the boss battle. It helps out so much. I just keep forgetting to use it when I'm in the heat of a battle. I just hit the attack buttons and just go for it. But I need to start using that lock-on because that is a big help. I'm just exploring to make sure I can get everything that I have before I go on, because there is things that you can get, like chests and stuff like that have items in it, and that gets you 100% completion with the treasures category in each level. I think with this one, by the time I ended, I'm at like 63%, so I don't know if that means that there's 100% for this character, or if this character can only get 63% and then, you know, more for the next one. I won't know that until either I try to go back and find everything, or I do the next character. But let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do Aqua next or Ven next. Aqua would be kind of fun because she's a mage. Ven seems like he's a kind of like an archer. Or maybe not an archer per se, but more of, not a warrior, but like a ranger. That's I guess the right word. He holds his Keyblade backwards and fights with it that way. Now, I left this cutscene in there because it's just him opening the door. There isn't any more to it than that. He goes in and sees Aurora, and then I cut it from there because that's where the real cutscene starts, which you saw there. But I wanted to show you Aurora so that you could see that. D-Link is something I need to learn how to do. Apparently, as you meet characters, you can forge D-Links with them and use their power later in the game and in battle. So I haven't figured out how to do that yet. If any of you know, let me know in the comments how to do that, because I think it would be kind of cool to use Maleficent's power in a battle. So they call on this evil dragon to come and tear the bad guy up. It might be helpful. But now I'm thinking about these different things, different moves. Confuse actually sounds kind of fun, and it did work. It was really fun. I really like that a lot. It's supposed to, if you use it, you're going to hit your enemies with it, and they get confused as to what team they're on, and they actually fight against each other. So that was really funny to see these little green bad guys, or the little black things that follow you around on the ground, and they turn on the big monsters that I have a hard time with, the big fat guys. It's really kind of fun to see that. Help me knock them down a little bit. Right here, I'm learning about the sticker album. I had collected a rainbow balloon sticker. So now I'm just trying it out. You get points for each sticker you place, and where you place them, and then a certain number of points will unlock special things for you. So I'm just experimenting and trying to place it different places and see how many points I get, that kind of thing. Seeing if each place is different or if it's the same for each sticker, and apparently it's the same for each sticker from what I could tell with that one. But now I'm going to find the big bad guy. Found a map, and those of you who are into these RPGs and stuff like that understand exactly how important maps are. It is actually very vital, especially with Legend of Zelda and Ocarina of Time. That game, you need the maps for. I don't know what I would do without maps. But it is kind of funny though that the only things I can see, the only things that I can think of in my brain with all of this is Aurora and Prince Philip. All I've got in my head is the characters from Once Upon a Time. I don't think of Sleeping Beauty the movie. I think of the guy who played Ren on Pretty Little Liars as Prince Philip and Aurora. And Mulan running around with them as their bodyguard. So here I'm going to try the Confuse out, see what happens with it.
Take that.
There it is. And there they go on each other. So that helps to knock down their health some, so that I didn't have to do as much to kill them. It's pretty fun.
Want some?
I will say this though, this game really has a lot more depth to it to me than Recoded. Because Recoded it took, I think it was Kingdom Hearts 1, and basically made you go through the whole game again because there were glitches in the story that Jiminy Cricket wrote. And you had a digital version of Sora that you went and played as in the game. This one actually has a lot more depth and a lot more plot line to the story as I'm seeing than that did. Very much the same gameplay. They did a really good job with this one, especially transposing into HD. I'm very impressed that they took those PSP graphics and made it more visually appealing on the PS4. Now, outside of Cinderella, which is the next world I go into, Aurora and Snow White, I don't know where I go yet. Because at the beginning, I have only one spot that I can go. Once I beat this world, then Cinderella and Snow White open up. Now, I'm not sure if I can go to more after I go and defeat those two. This video I start Cinderella's world. The next video I'll finish Cinderella, and then I'll start Snow White, and then the one after that I'll do Snow White. Now this is the big bad guy for this world here, and as you can see, he's kicking my butt. But it's okay though, because I quickly learn what I need to do. This was a fun battle though, because it was a big learning experience for me on locking and blocking and targeting and how to time my moves just right in what I did, and I quickly learned from this mistake right there of, oh, right, I need to be watching my health instead of just going and attacking him. I need to watch where I'm at, which I actually do here. I make good on that learning in this level here. And it actually serves me well in the Cinderella level too. Now a little side note here. My title for this is called Terra's Adventure. That is a play on words with one of my favorite TV shows as a kid. So, if you know where it's from, tell me in the comments. I'd like to know. Kind of curious how many of you can actually catch that reference.
Take that.
Now, I'm always hoping that they put worlds like Brave and Frozen into these games. I have a feeling they'll put something like that in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like I said before, I know they're doing Toy Story, so I'm hoping that they do something like Frozen, because that would be so much fun to go into that world and into that kingdom and just play with all the ice and the snow and team up with Elsa and Anna. It would be amazing to see that graphically and gameplay and story. It'd just be so much fun.
So long.
You'd have to fight Hans and take your kingdom back. That surge is really fun. It takes a lot of health away when I do that surge attack. And as you can see, I'm actually watching my health now, so I quickly learn from my mistake. And there we go. Thankfully, I beat it. Now I unlocked a new Keyblade, which I use. It's really fun and cool looking. That's the other thing I like about this, is the fact that it's an RPG as well as a action adventure. It has that level up element, the collecting the certain powers and abilities and armor and weapons, and then you can take and augment them and tweak them to your personal likes and interests. It's really kind of neat. Castle of Dreams is Cinderella. Land of Departure is where I started. Dwarfwood Lands is Snow White. Mirage Arena, I figured I'd try this. I don't know anything about this. But I figured I would give it a shot and see what it is. And it's really cool because I can actually start my own kind of battle and get status on it. And I make a awesome suit. Like I was saying in the other video, when he transformed into his actual suit and turned his Keyblade into the rocket to take off and go to Aurora's world, it looks like a Kamen Rider or Power Rangers outfit, is what that reminds me of. Which I think is kind of interesting, and it makes sense because, I mean, after all, this is like Final Fantasy, and that's Japanese, and they have the Super Sentai, and they have the Kamen Rider, and those kind of shows is where they started. So it makes sense that they would use that kind of thing in their games anyway. And now I'm just messing with the color schemes and trying out different things and finding one that I actually like, and I like a lot, that I want to keep it that way. And that's it. I really like that kind of maroony red with a sea green. It's really cool. Now I'll spend another video actually doing the Mirage Arena. But this is just getting it set up, seeing what it was, learning about it, that kind of thing. The Earthshaker is the one that I started with. And Fairy Star is the one I just got for beating Aurora's level. And I'm just reading what these do. A couple of them are used when I meld abilities, like I merge them together. You add that onto it because what that does is that changes the effect of the ability. Meaning some of them add extra health to you, some of them do more damage, there's all kinds of things. And I just noticed what that does. I was looking for what the scan ability does, and it actually is very helpful. Those of you who played Paper Mario on the Nintendo 64, you might remember the Toad that follows you around, Goombario. He has an ability. It's him. He has Tattle, and that tells you not only what the character is, what he does, but also his HP. And then later you get a badge that actually shows you the HP of every single character without having to use a term for Tattle. That's kind of helpful, and that's what the scan ability does here, is it shows you the HP of the targeted enemy. So you have an idea of what you need to get as far as attack power. So I thought it was kind of interesting, personally. And here I'm just setting up my battle commands. Now here's where I could have actually gone into the arena, but I decided to instead exit and go back to the game itself. I'm just testing things out here, and then I was like, you know what, let's come back to this. So let me know in the comments if you guys want me to make another video that's devoted to the Mirage Arena, and I'll be happy to do that for you. because I think it'd be kind of fun to see, honestly. But I was just more interested in getting stuff for the actual game storyline done. And I'm going over to Cinderella's world now. Which is right there. And there's a cutscene where I found Cinderella on the bench crying. If you know anything about the movie, you know she goes and runs away and starts crying on a bench, and her fairy godmother comes and gives her the dress, gives her the chariot, tells her to go. So that's where this cutscenes are right now, is showing that sequence from the movie. That is one thing I do like about Kingdom Hearts 2, is they keep scenes from the movies. It's really cool because they interact so well with these scenes. It's very well written and very well animated.
Take that.
And I'm gonna get to the courtyard, and that's where I'm gonna call it quits for the day. That's the last bad guy right there, and then I can actually move on to a new section. And the name of the world that I'm in is called Castle of Dreams. Because after all, Cinderella is all about dreams and making your dream come true. And it's kind of funny because Terra is at the point where he doesn't believe in dreams anymore either. And so, as he goes through Cinderella's story, he starts learning that dreams maybe do come true. But that is for another video.
So long.
So, I am loving this game. I really hope you guys are too. These things are so much fun, and I can't wait to get more into these games, into the storyline. And actually, the thing that I'm hoping with this is seeing how each game, each story, is connected to the other one before it. I know there will be some gaps because I don't have all of the games that I need to complete the storyline, but hopefully we'll be able to get some sort of connection between the games that I do have in the order that I'll play them in. I did find online a specific list, so I'm going to try to follow that as best as I can. This is JD Stone saying thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe.